The Prime Initiative.
Do you ever wonder if yeast infections were people, how would they look like? Well, I got an answer for you right here. Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. The cabal of cunts here are the ones responsible, well, not solely responsible, but a major, major, major key to everything that's transpiring in Los Angeles County. These people are the ones that are responsible for their ultra progressive bullshit that they're trying to implement, not only for our first responders in California, really in Los Angeles County, but all over California. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, LAPD, probation, Hilda, Holly, Lindsay, Janice, and Catherine. Ultra progressive people doing nothing but lining their pockets with your hard earned money. And in turn, they're giving you the middle finger, right? Going back into the probation situation here, I've been listening and doing your interviews, and it all points back to these ultra cunts that are ruining the department with their progressive nonsense because it's all about let's just give thugs hugs and thugs can't do anything wrong. Criminals are not really criminals. The police department are the criminals, and we don't need police or probation, so we're just gonna fuck everything up, right? Now I'm gonna share something that was given to me by a probation officer, okay, inside, and it's kind of disturbing. It goes to show you guys that everybody in Los Angeles County is actively going through the same thing. Not only Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and our beloved deputies there that are literally falling apart, um, but also the probation department and other surrounding agencies as well. Here's the information I have here that was given to me. I'm going to enlarge just slightly here so we can read it. Um, Now, this is coming from them, okay? And I'm just here to give you this information because I am the harbinger of this at the moment until someone else obviously speaks up, okay? And I'm gonna have to explain some things here because obviously I don't know too much about probation. I wasn't a probation officer, but in talking to you guys, obviously you guys have educated me more about what's transpiring in the probation department. Okay, no senior supervisor in unit. So what that normally means there is you're working in a facility or wherever you are in the probation department, right? And there's a lack of supervisors there. And why is that important? It's important to have supervisors because, like we all know, certain things transpire and there's certain things that happen where you need a supervisor. If you don't have one, a lot of things just go array. And then whenever there's investigations that are happening, they're always going to take the side of the detainee or the person that's incarcerated because fuck probation, right? Board of supervisors, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, right? So it's a big thing. They are not supervised properly. Short staff daily, right? Short staff daily. That's a major one. That's an officer safety situation. Not only is a safety situation for the officers, but also for the people incarcerated, right? Sexually harassed daily. Now, this one I do have to speak up with because this one here, the sexually harassed daily. If you're a female in there, obviously you're gonna get those catcalls. You're gonna get a lot of things heading your way. The same thing happens with our correction officers at CDCR and in Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. The female deputies that work there, if you work inside the incarcerated area, and you probably work at Men's Central Jail, NCCF, or Twin Towers, you're gonna get catcalled. In fact, I mean that is the minimal thing that's gonna happen to you if you're a female. You're gonna get harassed like a motherfucker. I mean, you're gonna have inmates. You're gonna have these kids jacking off in front of you. It's hey, it's a reality. It's a reality. Oh, Pram, you're so gross. Well, fuck. It's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Okay. And what happens when you speak up? This is the most disturbing thing. In talking to a couple of the female officers, they clearly stated that they report this to the supervisors, but the supervisors say, well, what are you doing to trigger them? What kind of fucked up explanation is that? What side are you on? You're a supervisor literally there to assist your officers for officer safety. You're employed by the department and you're trying to come up with some fucking random excuse saying that it's the officer's fault that they're triggering. Since when the fuck do we use that word anyway? You're triggering them. Get the fuck out of here. Youth receive nothing but a restructured pep talk, negative case note, and write up, which leads to nowhere and their behavior continues. So, in speaking with that, numerous different officers have contacted me and stated that when they report something that's happening within a department to their supervisors, it's always like, oh, you know what? Kids will be kids. Kids will be kids, they're just kids. Right, right. Supervisors rather keep the youth happy and provide them with private FaceTime call when they misbehave rather than address the issue and support and back up their own officers. You know what? That's a California model right there. That's that California bullshit implemented by the yeast infections we just talked about. Several emails from officers to superiors go out in hopes of them addressing an extremely violent youth who has history and continues assaulting officers, but nothing gets done. Officers are forced to continue working in a unit with the same youth who assaults them. So I actually contacted several other officers pertaining to that because I wanted to clarify what this means. So again, going back to the supervisor saying that they're being triggered, the youth is being triggered. Okay, um, particular POs will go, or probation officers will go to a supervisor unit and be like, "Hey, this shitbag over here keeps on threatening my life, keeps on going after me, keeps on whatever the case is." Right now, when I worked in custody, whenever there was a particular inmate that would purposely target a deputy or a custody assistant or whatnot, or even a member of the staff, it doesn't matter who it is, they'll get moved immediately, or they'll go to solitary confinement, or they'll go in the hole, is what they call it. They'll get punished for that, right? For the most part, not always, but for the most part. Now, with these particular individuals that are working inside the probation department, nothing gets done. It's always their fault. It's always the officer's fault, right? Again, going back to that progressive bullshit. Officers are breaking down mentally and physically. Well, I definitely agree to that. I could definitely agree to that. In speaking to you, some of you guys are not even you're. I hate to say it, guys, but you're going through the same shit as Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And again, this all is under the umbrella of the super cunts that we just talked about, right? Officers are going on stress leave more often. That is an actual thing. Now, somebody commented, of course, a member of the public commented saying like, "Oh, how could you go out on stress leave? What is even that?" Now, okay, keep this in mind, guys. Not all jobs are the same, right? I mean, every job has its cons and its pros. Now, whenever you are a first responder, or you work in corrections, or you work in the medical field, or you work anything that has to do with public service, your hours are long and you're dealing with people that don't like you. Now, imagine if you don't have a supporting unit like your supervisors. What do you think is going to what is that going to do to your health? Not only your mental health, but also your physical health, which is all connected. It's going to fuck you up. It's going to fuck you up. The same thing is happening over at Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, where we're going to get into that actually this weekend with CC Woods pertaining to that one news article that came out by that activist saying that there's more than 900 sworn personnel that are on light duty or on medical leave. Well, shit. I wonder why. I wonder fucking why. It's plain to see. It's plain to see, right? Again, this is a crisis. This is the crisis happening in Los Angeles County. Okay. Let's see here. The department does not provide us with enough officers to even staff a youth that needs a mental health or per behavior issues officer to stand by him all day. Now that is kind of alarming because yeah, just like in regular carceration, right? Meaning general population within the jails or the correction facilities and also in probation, there are people in there that, to be honest with you, deserve to be in there. They're shitbags, okay? That it is what it is. Kiss my ass, okay? But there's also some that just make mistakes and have mental issues. It's a real thing. Now, let me clarify. Being a criminal piece of shit doesn't mean you're mental. You're just a piece of shit. But there's actual people that have mental issues, and those are the ones that need the assistance, right? They're not getting the proper treatment that they need. They're not getting the supervision that they need, and that could be deadly. That could be deadly. Youth. Oh, this is a very important one. Going back to the comment that one asshole gave not so long ago, saying like when I first spoke up about the allegations pertaining to the probation department, the sexual allegations. This particular person stated, "I like how you're skipping over the sexual allegations." To which I responded and said, "You know what? They're allegations. If anyone that works in a custody setting, whether it be again going back to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, probation, CDCR, you know, not only the staff that works there, rather the sworn personnel or the officers there, but the medical staff as well. If particular inmates or these youths don't get their way, they use those magic words. Oh, I got raped. Or, oh, he touched me in a particular way. He or she did this. I'm sexually abused. It's a fucking cop out. Is there some issues that transpire within custody that happens? Yeah, and that gets investigated, and we all know about it at the end. But these are allegations. These are allegations. And what happens when these particular people say, like, oh, this person looked at me in a particular way? The officer is the one that gets in the sling. They always take the word of the person that is being detained. And again, going back to the California piece of shit model, right? Youth bring up false accusations on good officers to get rid of them and keep officers they feel they can control even more. There you go, right there. It's plain as text right there. Now, a little story about that. When I was working at Twin Towers, I'm not going to mention this officer's name, or I'm sorry, deputy's name, but she was a total badass. I went to the academy with her. She was a model recruit at that time. She came back, obviously, to work at Twin Towers. She handled business. She was always about doing things the right way, following policy, handling business. I believe she became a TO. She was working at this one particular mod that the deputies like to call Disneyland. They called it Disneyland because the inmates there. I mean, fuck, guys, like, dude. When you think of jail or prison, you automatically look back at particular shows or what you see in the news with the bars and it's all dirty, leaky fucking roof or ceiling rather, and a bunch of hardcore inmates, incarcerated in there. It paints a particular picture. Now, this particular module at Twin Towers, they called it Disneyland because it was nothing like that. The inmates roamed free. They had colorful fucking pictures everywhere. They had like a piano or some shit. They had goldfish. They had abundance of movies and televisions. I mean, it wasn't jail at fucking all. At fucking all. Everyone wanted to be there because it was fucking easy. And then they had these murderous motherfuckers that were running the pod. They were called fuck, what were their names? I think Merit Masters or something to that degree. Now, there was this one particular Merit Master piece of shit who thought, he thought he could control everyone, because of course the California model, right? This particular partner of mine, I remember specifically one day, and this is a small gripe, okay, but I'm gonna share it to you just to give you guys the perfect example. She had a bowl, or rather, a little bucket of ice cream in the fridge for the deputies, right? um, Deputies when they come into work, normally they'll have their food that they bring with them, right? Not everyone eats out, in fact, sometimes you can't even leave because of the abundance of work, but they'll bring their food, and deputies will store it in this one particular fridge. So this Merit Master piece of shit decides to go into the fridge. He's not supposed to, obviously, right? Because the fridge might have utensils or whatnot, right? Goes in there, grabs the deputy's ice cream and starts to eat it. My partner, the deputy, she decides to go over there and be like, "Hey, man, what the hell are you doing? That's mine." Now that's subject to discipline. To which she did. She followed the policy. She followed the rules. She tried to discipline this guy. He complained. He complained, saying that oh, I can't work with this. That I he the inmate said that. The inmate said, "Oh, I can't work with this deputy. She doesn't vibe with me or whatever." He came up with some bullshit excuse, like a punk bitch that he is. Guess what they do? Instead of disciplining the inmate for stealing her ice cream, they transfer that deputy out. My partner just transferred her out. What kind of shit is that? Makes you wonder who's in control, right? It's all part of the plan from super cunts, board of supervisors. Yeah, I call them cunts. So what? Supervisors and most seniors will not back you up in putting a violent youth in room confinement after an attack or incident because nobody wants to deal with the paperwork or the stress of addressing the youth. Now, that is just some lazy ass shit right there. Look, guys, look. Let me tell you guys something who are inside, okay? Document everything and do it multiple times. Do it electronically, do it on a piece of paper and keep it at home. Shit like this is something that you could use later, obviously, because of how you guys are being treated. Now, you guys have to understand one thing, okay? Paperwork and writing reports, that is your best friend. Make it your best friend. If you can't write, learn. Learn. That is the most important thing you could possibly do is learn how to write. Super important. If you have issues with that, get a tutor. I mean, we live in a day and age where there's a fucking app for everything. I'm pretty sure there's an app to help you write. Don't use. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, don't use AI shit. Don't use the Chat GPT, whatever the fuck it's called. Learn for yourself. Okay, learn for yourself. It will save your life one day. I guarantee it. Moving on, unit doesn't have working printers and most computers are outdated. Ah, fuck, that's just LA. That's county shit. That's just how it is. Officers are overworked daily with holdovers. I'm guessing that means being drafted, or that's the terminology they use at LA County Sheriff's Department. But again, the officers there are spent. I'm also getting information pertaining to there is a plethora of different fentanyl overdoses in the juvenile halls. These particular drugs are being brought in by their own parents or people claiming to be parents, right? They smuggle them in and give it to the detainees. Now, question comes about how is that possible? Well, it's all that lackadaisical bullshit that the Board of Supervisors is preaching about. The probation department is sinking, just like Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is sinking. We can't have that happen. Obviously, it's a safety thing. I mean, what the fuck? What's the major plan here? You know, it's such a comical thing. You guys remember those old school villain movies like James Bond or any particular movie where the main protagonist has to save this or go after this evil villain that's threatening to blow up the planet or destroy the universe, right? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because that motherfucker lives on planet Earth too. Why are you gonna disrupt or destroy the planet if you live in it too, idiot? It's the same thing with the Board of Supervisors. The difference is the money. It's all about the money. Their pockets are being lined with your money. They don't give a fuck about what's happening in the county. It's plain to see. This is coming from a probation officer. All right, guys. I mean, it's something that it's plaguing, and you know what? Everything's being ousted. Everything's being ousted. Little by little, LA County's being investigated here and there. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, LAPD, Probation Department, Board of Supervisors, the people that are in charge. Shit is happening. You guys gotta stay vocal. Stay vocal. Keep up with your voices. Be proud and be loud about it. This is the only way to fight back at the moment. When that time comes to vote these bitches out, we're gonna vote them out. Get them the fuck out of here. Go work for the View or some shit with all those other crazy ass bitches, right? God, I could just imagine that smell. Probably smells like fucking clamato and old bus seats. Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, we have way more to talk about, but we're gonna pace ourselves with this. This is just one prime example as to what's happening in the probation department. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this. Um, we're gonna do a deep dive again into probation department next week. Until then, keep fighting.
The Prime Initiative.